Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for our tardiness. We're a few minutes late. We had some technical glitches, as always. By way of introduction, my name is Dave Gilmore. I'm president of Gilmore Auction and Realty Company. I'll be your guide for tonight to talk about real estate auctions, and specifically the auction that we're doing for the St. Bernard Parish government on the 25th, which is Saturday week from this Saturday. We're going to go over, hopefully you've gotten, everyone has a bidder packet, and if you haven't got one, please get one from the front, raise your hand, we'll get you one. If you haven't pre-registered, that would be a good thing, and it'll save you some time on auction day on the 25th. I've got a set of slides here. We're going to go through those. Won't keep you very long. We appreciate your attendance. We made it here through the 2-inch golf ball size hail in Kenner, and that's where we're from, which is, it's not like it's another country. Then again, I'm sure you guys are used to it. St. Bernard is like another country to a lot of people too, right? So it's okay. Believe me, we understand. So I'm going to go over the slides real quick, and we'll answer your questions. If we don't answer them during the presentation, please feel free to ask those at any time as we go along. But we're going to hit a lot of the information that is in the frequently asked questions, and also in the terms and conditions. I'd like to also introduce our auction team. My business partner right there, the guy that looks like Steve Martin, is my partner, Francis Bro. Behind him right here is Pierre Molyneux, our office administrator, Miss Christy Brignac. She does all the real work. And over there is Dustin Gilmore handling all of the video. If we can get it on, hopefully we're on, we're trying a new piece of technology. I don't know if any of you guys would have taken advantage of this, but there's a new app or a new program called Periscope if you're on Twitter. And anybody who is on our Twitter follower list can watch us, because we're broadcasting it over this Periscope app to everyone that's on our list. So I thought that was kind of cute. So if you couldn't be here, hopefully you're looking there. If you have any friends or people that you know that couldn't make it, we're going to take this, the video that we're making of today's presentation, and we'll have it up on our website. If you need to look at it, or somebody else needed to look at it, you had questions, worst comes to worst, just give us a call at 468-6800. We'll be happy to answer all the questions that you may have. Okay, the auction, ladies and gentlemen. We're having an auction. We're selling 153 properties. They're all vacant land. They're all residential lots. Saturday, April 25th at 10 a.m. We're going to be right at the building next door in the back, which is the Civic Center Grand Ballroom. So you go in on the other side of the building, not the front entrance to the Civic Center. So you can show up anytime between, say, 8 and 10 to register. We'll be there ready to go at 8 o'clock, and we'd love to see you. Registration's relatively painless. We've already gotten your contact information, your name, address, phone, email, etc. We give you a bidder card. Probably got to sign a terms and conditions, and you're ready to go. So whatever you do, please don't come at everybody at 5 minutes to 10. Then of course we're going to have a line out the back door trying to get everybody registered. But get there a little bit early so you get yourself a seat and get all the paperwork taken care of. Okay, now who's doing it? That's us. Barry Van Gilmore Auction is our company. We're from Kenner, Louisiana. Right here, we're local boys. We're all born and raised in the greater New Orleans area, so we know St. Bernard. I spent half my youth fishing down here, so I understand the culture and the location. We talked about when. It's next Saturday on April 25th. We open at 8 a.m. and where it is in the Grand Ballroom. Now, the important part. You should have gotten right behind this page, right on the second page of the bidder packet, is a property list. These are the properties that we're selling at the auction. Okay? Please make sure you look at that and you know what property that you're interested in, and you circle it on your list so you know what's going on. If it's not there, and I'll talk about that in a second, you need to grab Kevin Reichert right here, and I'm going to give you a phone number later on as to talk to either Cliff or Kevin or Ray, and maybe if your property's not on the list, which we have many more, you can possibly get it on the next auctions list if it's not already on there. Hopefully, everybody here will find the property that they're interested in on the list, and everybody will be happy. So, in your packet is frequently asked questions, FAQs. We're going to go over them in just a second. Also, terms and conditions, which we will ask you guys to sign and authorize when you register at the auction. It basically is the, I guess, the rules and regulations of what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, when we're going to do it, and that type of thing. There also is a purchase agreement, which is dictated by the parish. This is the agreement that we will sign on every property that we sell. So make sure you take a look at that. Hopefully you won't have any objections. This is our second auction for St. Bernard Parish. There was one before us, so this is the third St. Bernard Parish road home auction that you'll be going to. So we got a good contract here, and want to make sure that you see it before you and read it before you get a chance to actually sign it. Okay, so we talked about reviewing the property list. We talked about finding the properties that you want to bid on. Please look at the properties. A good thing about the road home, and I believe it's still there even with all the rain and weather and what have you, most of the properties have, when you drive down the street, most of them have the address stenciled or written in a paint right in front of the property. So it makes it easier for everybody to find them. We can thank the Road Home program. They did a fine job of doing that. And so you should be able to find your property and that particular address when you go do a drive-by and take a look at that. Okay, we talked about it. If it doesn't happen to be on the list, you want to call 278-4310. 278-4310, which is the Office of Community Development. There are 3 or 4 guys that work there. One is right here, Mr. Kevin Reicher. He heads up the program. Over there is Ray Doran. He also heads up the program, and Cliff is not here tonight. Cliff Zeers, he's also the third man that handles things in the Office of Community Development. So you call him. If your property's not on the list, you say, listen, I'm interested in 123 Anywhere Street. He'll look it up on their list, and he'll put you down, take your contact information, and make sure that it is put in their computer system so that there's an expression of interest, and it'll probably come up for the next auction. So please take care of that. All right. What I need to bring to the auction, ladies and gentlemen, it's real simple. We're going to go over it, and one of the frequently asked questions is, what do I need to bring? You need to bring $1,000 for each lot that you'd like to purchase. Now, folks, how many of you guys just want to buy one lot? Raise your hand. Okay, how many want to buy more than one lot? Raise your hand. Okay, we got a few. Good. All right. If you want to buy 3 lots, bring $3,000 checks with your name on it. Cashier's checks, money orders are fine. We don't take credit cards. We do take cash. So just remember that if you have a cashier's check or money order, put your name on it. If it's a cashier's check and you don't buy anything, it'll be a lot easier for you to get it back into your bank account than it is if you made it out to our company or to St. Bernard Parish. So please make sure that the parish is going to be pretty adamant about having a deposit for everyone. So the $1,000 per property that you plan to bid on is the required deposit. Let's see. Now, also, if your deposit, if you buy a property that's, let's say, we will probably start most of the property, the bidding, at about $1,000. But if nobody will bid at $1,000, then we'll drop it to $500. Now, somebody says, well, gee, if I buy a lot for $500, I don't want to give you $1,000. Well, there are closing costs, so you're going to have to give us the $1,000. We're going to credit your account for $1,000. You would have a $500 purchase price and closing costs, and if there's any change, you'll get that back at the closing. Okay? But we can't say, well, gee, it was only $500, so you need to just give us a personal check. Sorry, the parish is not going to allow that. The title company knows that they won't allow that, so we need to take that from you like that in the full $1,000. Okay? Reserve prices. We just talked about that. There are no reserve prices. We sell everything regardless of price. I believe We started almost every one at $1,000 last time. A couple started at $500, and they go up relatively quickly to $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 or $6,000 and that type of thing. So actually, you can, if you want to see what the last two auctions, what those properties, the prices were, they are on the St. Bernard Parish Government website, sbpg.net. If you go to that, there's a little button on the side, I believe, that says auction prices. You click there, the spreadsheets will come up, and you can see every property. It's about 300 of them that we've sold or in the last 12 or 14 months or so. Okay? So you can get all your comparables there, you'll know what the values are. Okay. Back taxes and, did we talk about, hold on. Yeah, I got too far. Okay. Back taxes and grass liens. No back taxes, no grass liens. Don't worry about it. It's handled by the Road Home Program in the parish. You're going to get good insurable title at the act of sale, and there won't be any liens on the property. Now, if you decide you're going to put a mortgage on the property, that would be a lien, but that's your lien. We're not going to have anything from the past that'll be on the property, so you're going to get good insurable title. Okay, and any liens will be canceled by the parish. All right. Is this a tax sale? No, folks, it's not a tax sale. These are all road home properties that, when Katrina hit, the federal government gave money to the state of Louisiana, and some folks basically sold their property to the state of Louisiana Road Home Program. Those were deeded over to the parish a couple of years ago, and now the parish is in the process of disposing of those properties. So, not a tax sale. It is a good arm's length transaction with good clear title. Okay. Are there any warranties on the properties? No. We're selling all vacant land. We're selling the vacant land as is, where is, for all cash. Closing needs to take place within 30 days, which we'll talk about after. We'd ask you to conduct your own due diligence review. Go out there, walk the property, make sure you understand where it is, that it's a residential zoning. We had people come up to us at the last auction. Can I park trucks on it? Well, if it's a residential property, probably not. Can I build a building for my business? If it's residential zoning, no. Okay, so please make sure you understand that these are residential properties. I don't know if we have any in this auction. I don't think we do. Every so often there's one on a corner that is a possibility of being rezoned, but we're not going to tell you you can or you can't. That would be something you'd have to talk to St. Bernard Parish about. All right. Are there any restrictions? Do you need to improve the properties or anything like that? There are no restrictions on the properties or time frame for development. In other words, if you want to leave it a vacant lot for the next 10 years, you can do that. Now, what you can't do is let the grass and the weeds grow to 12 feet high, because that's against the rules in any lot in St. Bernard Parish. That would be a permit violation. You'd have to take care of that. So you can keep it as green space. You don't have to build a house. You don't have to develop it. Now, if you want to, you can start beating and banging as soon as we go to the act of sale. That's okay too. So just bear that in mind, that there are no restrictions or time frames that you're being forced to do anything with that particular lot. Okay? All right. How long do I have to close on the property? As we said before, 30 days. The title company that is assigned to your property will call you and set up a closing. That closing may be you go to their office down the street here and sign all the documents, give them the balance of the money, and you get the deed. It may be a situation where they'll do it by Federal Express. They'll send it to you, you sign it, send it back, and just depending upon where that particular title company is from. We have 4 different title companies that we're dealing with. So don't get upset if you buy 3 properties and you're with 2 different title companies. That's just the way it is. These guys bid the job, and the work was spread over actually 5 different companies, but we're down to 4 now. So, do we have any title companies here tonight? No? Okay. All right. Closing costs. And folks, closing costs, I don't know how, Kevin Reichert did a wonderful job. I don't know how he got these folks to work for this price, but he did. So you probably ought to thank him on the way out of your closing, because the closing costs are extremely cheap. Right? They're very inexpensive, let's say. They do good work, but they all bid, and it doesn't matter where you go, whether you go to title company 1, 2, 3, or 4, the fees are all the same. So it doesn't matter. They all bid the same job, and the numbers are the same. So bear that in mind. So what are the closing costs? You're responsible for the closing costs, but they're relatively inexpensive. And we've actually got on the second page of the frequently asked questions, it's itemized for you. Basically, it's going to be, I believe, about 400 gross total. About $400. It shows title search of 75, title and exam fee of 125, closing of 100, and you do have a title insurance fee, which is regulated by the state no matter where you go. So it ought to be about $400. Now, folks, when I tell you that's about as inexpensive as you can make it, it really is. And I'm not in the title business. I don't make any more or any less money whether you close with A, B, or C. So I just want to tell you that it is a good deal.
That $400 is if you do not buy title insurance.
Right.
Buy title insurance, that's a little extra. Other than that, you're looking around $400.
Right. But the title insurance on a $5,000 to $10,000 lot is about that much.
$110.
$110. So that is about as inexpensive. We've sold about 15,000 properties at public auction, ladies and gentlemen, and I've never seen fees like this. So, count your blessings that this is a good thing. Okay? Now, this is, excuse me, this is very important. We always get the question, I want to assign my contract after the auction to my company or to an LLC, or I'm going into a partnership with my brother-in-law or something like that. St. Bernard Parish is very, very adamant about this. When you register with us on Saturday morning, if it says John Doe, you need to sign the contract John Doe. Now, if you show up and say, listen, my name's John Doe, but I'm buying for Doe Realty Company. That's okay. As long as you register as Doe Realty Company, you can sign the contract for your company. The only thing is you can't change your mind after the auction's over. So you need to be consistent. If you register in an LLC, you need to buy in an LLC. If you register personally, you need to buy personally. Now you can go later on, if you buy something personally, you can put it in an LLC down the road anytime you like. So just please bear that in mind, because we get those from time to time, and it's real simple. You just need to be prepared when you register. If you tell them that you're going to do it in your company, leave it like that. Okay? All right. If you live next to an auction property, can I keep it as green space? We talked about that. Yes, you can. As long as you cut the grass and it looks good, and you don't store, old cars, and you don't erect a commercial building on it, you can leave it like that with green space. Use it make yourself a little garden. You can do something, grow some vegetables or something, but you can do that. Okay? Can my real estate agent represent me? Absolutely. You need to have them, and we have forms here with us. It's called a broker registration form, and you would have your broker fill that out. You both would sign it, and we pay them a commission at the closing. Actually, the title company will handle that. There'll be a 2% fee for them in the closing table, but they do need to get registered by Wednesday the 22nd. So a week from today, 12 noon, they have to get that in now. So if you've got a friend who's a broker that you want to represent you or drive you around and show you properties and that type of thing, please make sure that they contact us. properties subject to zoning? Of course they are. Whatever the zoning is, in most cases it's going to be residential. It might be residential R2, multifamily, something like that. You do have to adhere to the zoning regs of St. Bernard Parish and pay attention to that. Okay. How can I get more information about the auction? Well, if you go to our site, which is stbernardauction.com, we've got more information, pretty much, I guess, a little more, maybe more expounded upon than we're doing here. But it's all there, and if we change anything, we will also send usually an email out, or we'll put it on the website. So that's where you get additional information from us. All right, this is my first auction. What do I do? Well, that's pretty simple too, folks. So I'm on my piece of paper. Let's see. No cost to bid. We know that. We talked about that already. Well, what we would do is we tell folks that if you're going to any auction, whether it's ours or someone else's, or it's St. Bernard's or someone else's, take a look at your finances. Know what you can spend. We're selling lots here that will probably average somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000, I would imagine, which is probably what we did last time in October when we had our auction. So make sure you have the ability to write the check to buy the property. Check out the values in the neighborhood. Drop around, look at for sale signs, look at houses in the neighborhood. What is the price range? Get on the svpg.net website, download the spreadsheet of the past auctions, and you'll see properties that are right down the street and what they sold for. And so you'll know what that range of value may be. Pre-register at the auction. Hopefully you've done that with us here. Arrive early. Get to know the auction staff. If you haven't introduced yourself to guys like me and Francis and Chrissy, we'll have other folks at the working for us at the auction. We'll all have black jackets on and the same color ties and name tags and that type of thing. And what we've had people do is they come up and say, "Hey, I'm here. This is my name." Introduce themselves to us. I'm going to sit right here in the front row, and I'm only interested in the first property. Make sure you look at me when we sell the first property, and that's okay. So I know the gentleman right here in the blue shirt is going to be interested in the first property. So when we start the auction, I'm going to look at him. It's real simple. Okay? When you're bidding during the auction, all you have to do, we have a bid card? Yes, we don't have a bid card now. We're going to give you a little bid card. It's going to have a 3-digit red number on it. Okay? When you're ready to bid, raise the bid card. When you hear me doing the auction, and it goes pretty, it goes sort of rapidly, but it's not an intimidating rapidity, I don't think, but let's do it like this. What we'll do is, ladies and gentlemen, how many dollars? I'm going to start at $5,000. Everybody get 1,000, now do. Everybody get 1,000, now do. 1,000, now do. Everybody get $2,000. Everybody get 3, everybody get 3,000, now 4, where? And 4, now 5. Everybody get 4,000, 5, 6,000. Everybody get 6,000, 7, where? That's 6,000, 7, 7. Everybody get 7 once, twice. Sold it, $7,000 right there, man.
Too late.
Excuse me. Goes relatively quickly. We'll sell a property every 3 minutes or so. We'll describe it very quickly. Lot and square. We'll put a picture behind me on the screen of the lot. And believe me, they're all going to look the same. They're all green. They're all pretty much rectangular. And the only difference will be is they'll have, and I haven't looked at the photos yet, but every so often we have one that has a car on it, or a truck, or we've had them with boats and trailers and what have you. We're only selling real estate, and we'll tell you that at the auction. So it'll come up on the screen. We'll start the bidding. A few minutes later, it's all done. When you are the high bidder, if this gentleman in the front is the high bidder, I'm going to ask him, what's your bid card? What's your bidder number? Raise up your bidder card where I can see it. We write it down, put it in the computer. Then we send what's called a bid confirmation out to you. One of our clerks put it on a clipboard, and they'll bring it out there, and they'll say, buyer number 123, Mr. John Doe, bought this property for $7,000. You sign it as a receipt. We're going to give you a copy of it. We're going to take your check, and we're going to go in the back of the room. There'll be a separate room behind us in the ballroom that'll have all the title companies there. We'll go put your check and your bid confirmation in a file, in a box, and if you're ready to finish and go home, let's say you got Jazz Fest tickets and you're done. You're going to go ahead and if you want, You get up, you go with the clerk, she'll tell you where to go. You can sit down, fill out your contract, sign it, you're done for the day, you go home. If you want to stay and buy more properties, that's fine too. You can only buy up to 4 properties total at the auction, okay? Once you hit your limit of 4, if you don't want to sit around and watch this free entertainment that we call an auction, then go ahead and go take care of your paperwork and you're all done. The title company will probably give you a potential date for your active sale. And so they'll schedule that with you, and they'll go home with the contract and the deposit. They'll get everything ready, do all the paperwork, give you a call, you come out, and it's a done deal. So that's sort of how it works. If whether it's your first auction or whether you've been to lots of auctions. We talked about once you're the winning bidder. We just talked about that. What happens to your what you mechanically do at that point. So it's a very simple, painless process. You're not going to, at least in all the properties we've sold for 30 years, I've never sold anything to somebody that didn't want to buy it. We don't generally do the, blowing on the ear, or scratching your nose, taking your glasses off, I'm bidding kind of thing. Unless you absolutely don't want anybody to know, you talk to one of our guys and say, listen, if I'm pulling my ear, I'm bidding. If I'm not, I'm not. Doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. If you really want to do it, we'll accommodate you if you like, but it's not necessary. Most people raise the bid card, raise their hand. We joke that if we don't see you, throw a $100 bill, and we'll pay attention. Okay, so that's kind of how we handle it. All right, now folks, you guys all from St. Bernard Parish? Yes? Okay, pretty much. I pulled some notes out from that we had on the website, and one of the things that St. Bernard tends to get I hate to say a bad rap about the area, but it's got great things going for it, and we've got a ton of real estate to sell, and we just want you to take it off our hands, and we'll be the best deal that you probably will ever see in buying a residential lot. And some of the things that we've looked at, and to be honest with you, if I was able to, if they let me do it, I don't think they'd let me do it in my contract, we'd probably buy a lot or two. But they don't let us do that, it's some kind of conflict. So, but you got a new hospital, you got good streets since Katrina, you got good infrastructure, you got a low crime rate, great place to raise a family. We talked earlier about fishing. This is, man, the fishing here is incredible. I mean, you just spin to the fishing grounds, and even the duck hunting areas. You got some great parks, Val Reese, Torres, Hannon Parks, great recreational facilities. Housing is affordable. Where else can you go buy a lot in any area of New Orleans for $5,000 to $10,000? So this is a great opportunity to and a $9 billion perimeter seawall. That's what everybody says. Oh, gee, there's so much water in St. Bernard. Well, now you got it taken care of. So life is good here. It's a good quality. It's we're 10-15 minutes from the French Quarter and the CBD. It's a great location, and I would encourage you guys to buy as many lots as we'll let you and you can afford. Any questions? Or have I done a wonderful job of? Yes, ma'am.
You have done a wonderful job, but this is my first time, so I want to make sure I understand it. The way they are numbered is the way they will be offered.
Yes, ma'am. We will not change the order. Okay? And hopefully yours is in the front. You're not going to get mad at me because it's at the end.
I have a few.
Okay, well that's good too. Question? Yes, sir.
When you raise it, the bed says it's 1,000, you go up, what increments do you raise it?
We normally try to stay into the 500 and the 250s. We don't do dollars. We don't do $10. We don't do quarters. You're going to find that it goes relatively quickly, and the bidding in this particular case, no one's going to get out of hand. You're not going to see somebody pay $50,000 for a lot that ought to bring 5. Okay, it's not. We're not going to let you get out of hand. I promise. I'll tell you when to stop it. Question? Yes, sir.
On a company or LLC, this $1,000 buyer fee, do you put it in LLC or put it in personal?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The money's the money. The deposit doesn't matter where it comes from. As long as you have the authority to bind that LLC or that corporation, you don't need anything that says that. You may need that at the act of sale with the title company. They may ask you for that. Maybe a corporate resolution that says you're the president and you have the authority to sign and bind the company. So, you know, the only thing is the consistency of the buyer. That's all the same concept for. Other questions? Yes, ma'am.
So if my dad and I want to buy this property together, do we need to register together? Or
No. You can buy one, he can buy one. Or you can buy four, and he can buy four. That's the case. And again, and I appreciate you asking the question. If after the auction's over, let's say you buy 4 lots, and you've got a friend that says, man, I wish I'd have been there. And you say, well, you know, I'm buying these for speculative purposes. Would you like to be partners? As long as you can bring a partner in, that's okay. As long as you don't change the name of the whole deal, the buyer. So that's okay. But you can't bring a partner in and say, all right, now we're going to change it into XYZ LLC. They won't let you do that. Okay? We want you to buy as much real estate as possible. It'll be fun. We don't want to keep you all day. I think our last auction the bidding was done at 2:30ish. So we try to start promptly at 10, as long as the line isn't wrapped around the block to register. If registration's backed up, we will delay a little bit. We want to make sure that nobody misses the terms and conditions and understands what's going on. We don't want to not allow you to buy a property, so we'll be patient from that standpoint. But we'll do our best to start on time. We'll set a relatively quick pace, and you'll see how it works. And as I said, it's every 2 or 3 minutes. We don't have a lot of downtime. We don't take any breaks. We don't take any. There's no intermission. We will have a little concession stand set up. So you know, it is sort of a longer day than normal, but you should be able to I guess stand it even if you have stayed at the end. Any other questions?
So there were 2 auctions previous to this. Do you know how many more auctions there will be? Will there be one more? Or
I don't know. I think that is beyond my pay grade. I believe the people who sit up here on a monthly basis dictate that. We have a long-term contract to do the auctions, but we have no control over how many and which properties. Of course, look, I wish we did one every 90 days, but I don't think that's going to happen. We did one in October, doing one now, Ray?
Probably, I would say we're probably going to have at least one more auction where with no restrictions on the property. But eventually we're going to get to a point where we're going to get properties to put up for auction where we're required to build a house with them. We want to sort of get back into redevelopment, not just continue to sell property for people speculate.
So this may be the last one where there are no restrictions. So it's probably a really good time to buy, to where you're not being forced to. For instance, I believe there's a builder bundle RFP that just happened where the builder had to start building on the property very quickly. You don't have any of those restrictions here whatsoever, and that won't happen anytime soon. Okay. Any other questions? It's going to be a lot of fun.
How can I tell who my title company will be?
That's a good question. Is it on our list?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I didn't realize it was on there. Okay. If you want to know who your title company would be, it's the last column on our spreadsheet. You'll see that it's an alternating situation, fair to everybody. Every other one is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it starts over 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and to be honest with you, as we said earlier, really doesn't matter. You're going to get the same service for the same price, no matter which one you go to or which one is on the list here. So, it's pretty standardized and should work out. Let me say this: all the title companies did an outstanding job in October. We closed everything in the 30-day period, and we were very, very pleased with with the performance of the tower.
And so were the buyers.
And the buyers were too. That's exactly right. So, yes, sir. I don't know. We've never had one.
Not sold at auction, it'll just go back into our inventory, come up at a later date.
Yeah, we had 155 last time. We sold every one of them. One sale had to be canceled because the parish ended up having to use it for something. And other than that, we closed everything.
But maybe the purpose of the question was that all these properties that we put up for auction, they have to be auctioned off because they're assets of the parish. The parish, as the rules stand right now, we cannot sell those properties to individuals just because of precedent. Before, when we had the HOP program, those were being run by the state owned the property at that time. Any asset that the parish owns has to be sold through an auction process. So, unless this body here, the council, changes that, those rules, then that's how we sold it in the future.
And again, if you know of properties that are road home properties that are not on our list here, call Ray, call Kevin, and basically you give them an expression of interest, which means, hey, I'm interested in 123 Judge Perez Drive, and they've noted down, and that's an expression of interest, and it may come up in the next auction when they're putting things together. So that's how you handle that. Okay? Any other questions? If you think of anything else, ladies and gentlemen, we're right there in Kenner. We'll be around for the next 10 days or so to answer your questions. Give us a call. Our phone number's on there, 504-468-6800. We'll be happy to answer your questions, tell you about the procedure. If you didn't understand or you missed something tonight, please give us a call. We're here to help. That's what we do. And we want a good, successful auction on the 25th. And ought to be a lot of excitement, ought to be a lot of fun, and we'll have a good time and go from there. Okay? Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you for your attendance. Please be careful going home in this weather.
And the Pelicans are up 2018.
Pelicans are up by 2. And if you have a registration form that you didn't give to us, please drop it off on your way out. Make sure we have your email address because that's the easiest way to get to you. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.